Hey everyone, how's it going today, and welcome back to another update. So today's update, I want to take a little bit of a revisit once again to talk all about the fourth stimulus package, but specifically about the big package that we've been talking about, but there was a little bit of a pause where they kind of took a break from talking about it. But the really great news is that the negotiations for the fourth stimulus package, they're now officially back again. And I know that Joe Manchin has also spoken that he's back on board. Biden obviously has always been on, talking about it for a while now. AOC has also gone involved, and basically the entirety of Congress. So in today's update I really just want to talk about the story right now with what's happening with the fourth stimulus package. Again, this is the very big package that, applies to basically everyone all across the country. There are, of course, also a lot of much smaller independent bills right now, such as about like the fourth stimulus gas checks, fourth child tax credit, fourth other kinds of stimulus related programs. Of course, we already talked all about that, so I'll put videos at the very end screen. And once again, to clarify is that a lot of these bills, some of them apply on a very local state level, but some of them actually do apply on a very giant federal level for every single person watching this. But because today's video is obviously going to be all about the main flagship big fourth stimulus package bill, this is going to apply to everyone. So we're going to get started, but as always, really quick, 10 quick, really quick seconds. Remember to smash the like button if you guys hopefully enjoy videos like this. It always is greatly appreciated. Consider subscribing and hitting the bell if you guys are, interested in similar videos. Huge thanks if you guys have, been here for a while. And as always, feel free to comment any questions, maybe personal thoughts about by the end of this video about what you think. So with that being said, let's get this video started. So the story with the fourth stimulus package is that right now at this time is that Congress has officially announced that they are now ready to try to revive it and bring it back once again. This bill is technically, it's many people are calling it the Build Back Better Plan 2.0. It doesn't really have a specific name. In fact, I think the idea is that they want to essentially give it a totally brand new name to essentially rebrand it. But for just simplicity, we're just going to call it the Build Back Better 2.0. So Congress is back now trying to negotiate on it. And there are actually also very select and very important politicians that are now really trying to come out to voice that they're also back on board. So probably the most prominent example is Joe Manchin. And so he has officially announced that he is also back to trying to press to negotiate and promote the fourth stimulus package, specifically the Build Back Better 2.0, or we'll call it the social bill. And the big idea is that very recently he spoke to President Biden in private about his demands. However, because it's private, we don't have the full details about what he actually specifically spoke about. But the big idea is that right now is because they're going to be trying, what we do know is that they're going to be trying to reduce the size of the package, not because they necessarily want to, but because they feel it's actually necessary to now try to make it easier to approve after all of the struggles really ended up happening. What we do know specifically is just from just gauging what he has released to the public and just over the last couple of months, is that the stuff that he really supports is pretty much things related to like climate change, prescription drug prices, the deficit reduction, so pretty much everything related to paying off the country's bills. We are in a lot of debt, we owe a lot of money, and the idea is he wants to focus on reducing that. And then probably more interesting and relatable is pretty much just everything related to taxes. Just everything related to the tax policy. Now, this is the part that's actually very interesting right now, because there are a lot of different opinions, and this kind of goes back to relate to the gas tax checks that we're talking about. There's a lot of different talks about how they want to approach the tax situation, because right now at this current time, and I guess this is one of the big important things to really know about why it's struggling, is that one of the things they don't fully agree about right now is everything related to taxes, because there are some people that really want to essentially raise the taxes, and the reason is to be able to control all of the things related to prices. So why this is related is because if you increase the taxes, there is obviously more money in the government, so they can have more money to work with, they can pay off their debt better, and that's the big thing. there are also a lot of other people that are actually very, very much against taxes. They want to try to reduce it as much as possible. And there are some people that, and this is probably the part that really applies to a lot of people, is that their views on the taxes is actually much more dependent on the specific kind of tax. There are some politicians that really want to raise taxes in one specific area, but they also really want to reduce taxes in maybe another area. So for example, some people, some politicians are looking now to potentially maybe try to increase taxes on gas, but in order to try to control the prices and also so they can use that money into other areas. But while they're increasing taxes in that area, they might be trying to actually reduce taxes in other areas as well, such as, for example, with a lot of the tax cut policies and programs. So what this basically means, and how does this relate to us, is that because while it is true that there are actually a lot of talks right now about fourth stimulus checks, especially again with all of the gas stuff as we mentioned, videos at the end screen, there's also a lot of very subtle plans that if, say, for example, they struggle to get the fourth stimulus checks through, they can maybe try to create tax policies, especially because at the end of the day, the stimulus check is technically also a tax program, which is the reason why people don't have to pay taxes on the first 3 stimulus checks is because it was a tax rebate. The big idea is that maybe if they're not able to get the checks through as a direct deposit, they can maybe create programs to reduce the taxes. So in a way, what it does is that while people maybe will not get a direct deposit, they can at least save money so they're taxed a little bit less. And in an indirect way, they're kind of getting a stimulus check because the balance on their bank account, maybe it's not a plus, let's say a $600 stimulus check, maybe it's not a plus 600, but it's also a reduction 600. So essentially, the bank account, it's going to end up with the same amount of money as if they were to get a stimulus check, since they're also saving money now in other areas. Now, maybe to go back to talking about specific politicians, probably the last one that we're really going to talk about is going to be, interestingly, one person that has also come out to attack Joe Manchin, so I guess this follows on that, which is going to be none other than AOC. So the story with AOC is that she's also a very big I guess you can say speaker in terms of trying to voice on what she wants inside of the fourth stimulus package. She is very against Joe Manchin, just everything related to Joe Manchin. And there's a reason for it actually, because Joe Manchin right now wants to try to pay off debt. So he's actually against a lot of the social programs. The best bet to maybe get him to cave to giving social programs, so again, things like child tax, stimulus checks, rental assistance, housing, food stamps, is to maybe give him as maybe a compromise or a deal of some kind where maybe he will cave if he can get something else that he actually does care about, which is again what we kind of just mentioned, all about like climate change policies, deficit, everything related, and taxes, everything related to that. But there is no doubt that one of the politicians that is actually very, very much in support of all of these programs that we care about, so fourth stimulus checks, fourth child tax credit, social security, pandemic EBT food stamps, or at this point just general EBT boost, because to add more money to food stamps, housing, rental assistance, everything related to that world, is pretty much AOC. She's definitely really trying to voice for it. We don't know how things are going to play out, but they're at least taking a chance to fight for it, and we just have to see what actually ultimately ends up happening. But with that being said, that's pretty much what I really just wanted to share in today's update. So again, the big idea to recap is that it's officially back again, at least the negotiations. We don't have the specific details because we don't have the we don't even have the name, the new name of the package, but it's pretty much going to be a totally revived version. There will definitely be programs that are removed. There is hope that maybe there's going to be programs added. It's just off of the logic because it is going to be a smaller package, so something less or something has to come out of that to make it a smaller package, unless they maybe balance it out. But of course, all of this stuff is stuff that we have to see in possibly one of the next episodes of this show. So if you guys made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay safe, stay well, have a great rest of this month of March 2022. Wow, how fast time flies if you're watching this, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much again.